Hi everybody, we're at the Hiram Page gravesite. He was one of the 8 witnesses. When I first moved here, I had no idea that he was buried here. I didn't have any idea that most of them were buried here. You have 5 of the 8 witnesses that are buried in Missouri, and then you have 2 of the 3 witnesses. So of the 3 witnesses, you have Oliver Cowdery and David Whitmer. They're both in Richmond, in Ray County. And we're in Ray County right now. This is near Excelsior Springs. Actually, we're just outside a smaller city called Crystal Lakes. And then for the 5 witnesses that are here, you have Hiram Page, you have Jacob Whitmer, Peter Whitmer Jr., Christian Whitmer, and then, okay, wait, Hiram Page, Jacob Whitmer, Christian Whitmer, Peter Whitmer, oh yeah, and then John Whitmer. That's right. Okay, so this is just like right off to the side of the road, just this dirt road out in the middle of nowhere. Let's look at the headstone here first. Obviously this is relatively new. Hiram Page, one of the 8 witnesses to the Book of Mormon, born about 1800 in Vermont. Let the van go by. Married 10th of November 1825 to Catherine Whitmer. Oh, I didn't notice that before. That must be, you know, one of the Whitmers. To Catherine Whitmer, died the 12th of August 1852 near this site. Missouri Mormon Frontier Foundation, 2001. Okay, so it's not like that new, but 2001. The Missouri Mormon Frontier Foundation have put up so many of these historical markers and signs and plaques. It's pretty incredible. On the back it says Page, and then here it is. And this is another thing I didn't notice last time I was here. Last time I was here, it was before I was doing commentary on this channel, and there was also a dog, probably the same dog that's barking right now. There was a dog that was like, his chain came loose, like he was like dragging his chain along with him, and I was pretty scared I was gonna get bit, but I still braved it and did it. But yeah, I'm guessing, well, let's see, it just, because I'm wondering if it's both him and his wife that are here, because there appears to be 2 different like burial plots. It talks about the fact that he was married to Catherine Whitmer, but it doesn't necessarily say that she's here too. That's what I'm going to guess, is that this is probably him and Catherine, most likely. Let's go ahead and look at this sign over here. This is one of those historical markers that have been put up by the Far West, excuse me, the Far West Stake. The Far West Stake also put one of these up at David Whitmer's gravesite, and then a number of other locations that we've been to, like Tinney Grove and the Battle of Crooked River. And I don't know if they're still putting these up. I've been trying to get in contact with them because I want to find out if there are more for me to go see. But okay, so Far West Missouri Stake, historic site, Hiram Page, 1800 1852. Hiram Page, one of the 8 witnesses to the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ, was born about 1800 in Vermont. After moving to Seneca County, New York, he met and married Catherine Whitmer. The couple played key roles in the early history of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, being baptized in Seneca Lake by Oliver Cowdery on the 11th of April, 1830. So just a few days after the church was established, on April 6th. Oh yeah, and then it says only 5 days after the church was formally organized. Hiram, Catherine, and their small children migrated with the Latter-day Saints to Kirtland, Ohio, then to Jackson County, Missouri. During the tumultuous persecutions in 1833, Hiram was selected to travel with 3 others to Lexington, Missouri, to seek a peace warrant from the circuit judge. By the way, we have been to Lexington before on the channel. That's where you have the Steamboat Saluda disaster memorial, and also there's the graveyard there, or the cemetery there that has a memorial similar to this one right here for the victims of the Steamboat Saluda disaster. Okay, but anyway, to seek peace warrant from the circuit judge. Hiram was successful in his petition to the court, winning writs against mob leaders. However, the writs failed to produce peace, and the Saints were soon expelled. In 1836, Hiram and his family were among the founders of Far West Caldwell County, Missouri. Following the 1838 excommunications of family members, they withdrew their membership from the church and eventually located this part of Ray County, where Hiram was killed in a farming accident on the 12th of August, 1852. Writing to a friend in 1847, so that's the year that the Saints entered the Salt Lake Valley, Hiram said, "As to the Book of Mormon, it would be doing justice to myself and to the work of God of the last days to say I could know a thing to be true in 1830 and know the same thing to be false in 1847. Hiram's son Philander recorded, quote, "I knew my father to be true and faithful to his testimony of the divinity of the Book of Mormon until the very last. Whenever he had an opportunity to bear his testimony to this effect, he would always do so, and seemed to rejoice exceedingly in having been privileged to see the plates and thus become one of the 8 witnesses," end quote. Far West Missouri Stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, 2018. President Nelson's first year as president of the church. There is one section in Doctrine and Covenants that I know of that mentions Hiram Page. It's that one where he had like tried to convince members of the church that he also had a stone, like I guess like a seer stone, and that he was also receiving revelations for the church. And so the Lord spoke to Joseph Smith and gave him that section of Doctrine and Covenants. I can't remember which section, but it's one of the early sections. And that's where we get the clarification that revelation for the church only comes through the president of the church. It's not going to come through other people. And so I think that's the only mention of Hiram Page in Doctrine and Covenants. Looks like there's a property for sale if anybody's interested. Just pause the video and contact Kenny Manley. I don't know him, I'm not associated with him, but it looks like it's probably just this property here. I think it's an empty lot. I will tell you, this is a nice area. I enjoy it over here in Ray County. I love Excelsior Springs. I love Richmond. It's not too far outside of the Kansas City area. I'm trying to think, I didn't really pay attention, but I think it's only, like this location here is only about something like 15 or 20 minutes outside of like Liberty, Missouri. So this is just a little bit to the northeast of the Kansas City area. So you could easily just, you know, drive into Liberty, Independence, Kansas City, and it's no big deal from here. But you also get the benefit of kind of like being out in the country. Yep. So let's do this one more time. So here near Excelsior Springs, we have Hiram Page, one of the 8 witnesses. In Richmond, in the Pioneer Cemetery, you have Jacob Whitmer, which was one of the 8 witnesses. You also have Oliver Cowdery, one of the 3 witnesses. And then on the other side of the city in the Richmond Cemetery, you have David Whitmer, who was one of the 3 witnesses. And then in Caldwell County, in Kingston, which became the county seat of Caldwell County after the Saints left Far West, in Kingston, in that cemetery is where you have John Whitmer. And then in Liberty, at the 8 Witnesses Monument, that's where you have Christian Whitmer and Peter Whitmer Jr. So, as for the other witnesses, my understanding is that Martin Harris is in southern Utah. I think near St. George. I'm not exactly sure about that. Just let me know in the comments. And then the others of the 8 witnesses, you have, I'm trying to remember, you guys, I'm not an expert at this yet, but you have Joseph Smith Sr., he's a Nauvoo. Hiram Smith, he's a Nauvoo. And then I think Samuel Smith is the other one, and I believe he's also in Nauvoo. All 3 of them in the Smith family cemetery. So, and we're eventually going to go there again. I do have a video on the channel of Joseph Smith's homestead, excuse me, and mansion house and the Smith family cemetery, but that was before I started doing commentary. So we'll go up there again, probably within the next like month or 2, most likely. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later.